is kind of like when Michael and Sydney said the thing during my proposal, and I was like,
How was that?
and then I turned my video off.
You should probably keep this.
What's up, Jesse?
What's going on?
Oh, nothing. Got a couple transplants here.
Me.
Transplants?
You said transplants? I live here.
I'm a real
We
woman.
almost
okay?
didn't live here.
God. Hi, dog.
So these are the two people that started the fire.
Yes.
We
The culprits
didn't
are here.
start the fire.
This is actually just going to be an entire podcast dedicated to an interrogation of you to figure out exactly what happened.
I'll tell you
I'm ready.
exactly.
I'm
I'll
ready
tell you
and raring to
exactly.
Yeah, I can see who's innocent already.
I will tell
That's
you
right.
exactly
All
what.
parties here are innocent.
I will
Yeah.
tell every single thing about Monica right now. And
That lint came entirely from Matt's clothing. First and foremost.
It really did.
That was the accelerant. Ultimately, it was his fault.
Guess who ordered the fire extinguisher over a month ago for just such an occasion? And guess who knew what to do with it? Guess who knew that you go right hand on the trigger, left hand on the pin?
Save the world.
no, it was
Thank
good.
you.
Like, I mean, your aim was good.
Thank you.
Perfect
definitely
aim. It was like, boom,
Especially the
boom,
first one.
done.
The first one that was melting, that was going to spread out and cause a fire and melt your, and burn up your deck.
Yeah, the blue
That
one was
you
about
hit
to
it-
be
you
a
hit it
problem.
once, and it was done. It was done. The other one just went on and on and on.
Speaking
It's so
of
weird
decks,
not hearing
though,
you in my headphones. I'm so used to like talking
Can't
to
hear
you.
me?
No, I can hear you. I just can't hear you in my headphones. It's weird
Oh.
watching you talk.
Matt really misses hearing you right in his ear.
I do. It's good. It's a good thing.
like mostly like from this part of his ear.
I would
Where
just
you
like
can-
to say
Where you can also feel my breath against the back of his.
you could
Back of
also
my neck.
not do any of that at all. I would like to say
Of course,
my best advice,
it's a free country.
$15 on Amazon,
All right.
kitchen size fire extinguisher. Purchase one because sometimes you want the
You
bug
just
handle to
never
work
fucking
better.
know.
You
All
right.
never know.
Wait, is this
Nadia-
a cuss podcast?
You can cuss.
Yeah, you're fine.
I
I want to.
didn't
I want to
know.
play this clip for you, Nadia, and I
I'm
want
ready.
you to tell me what you think about it. Okay.
Okay.
This is
I'm
a
ready.
Joe Biden thing.
Yep.
The
everybody-
dog is licking my
Should we
knee.
stick on something else?
I just want. Well, it's good. I want to hear the.
Okay.
She's half Asian, so.
I'm ready.
You ready? Okay.
I'm ready.
Half, like full half.
I'm a full 50%.
Full 50%.
Actually, technically, it's like 48.7%, and then the other half is like also equally similar. And then there's like this teeny tiny breakdown where there's like 4% that's split into a bunch of different things, and I'm like, I don't know.
So
what the fuck.
somebody lied to you.
But ultimately, Chinese white.
Somebody lied to you.
Turns out
Best
I
of
was
both
not
worlds.
found in a trash can. That's the bottom line.
That's
Oh God.
what matters.
I'm glad you weren't found in the trash.
That's
Yeah,
right. That's what that's the defining moment of the 23andMe. I was not found in a trash can. I was actually birthed from a person that I know. So just setting the record straight today. It's 2020.
Yeah.
Matt, you look
August
like you don't know what to.
4th?
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's a good thing. All right. Here we go. Let us know what you think about this.
You're constantly tested in effect because you're in situations like this on the campaign trail. But please clarify specifically, have you taken a cognitive
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a
What
junkie?
do you say to President Trump, who brags about his test and makes your mental state an issue for voters?
Well, if he can't figure out the difference between an elephant and a lion, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Did you watch that? Look, come on, man. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or stand with the president in debates. There's going to be plenty of time. And by the way, as I joke with him, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say. Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and mental my physical as well as my mental fitness, and to make a judgment about who I am.
Thoughts?
This is from this week.
This is from this week. This is just recent.
Did you hear Trump bragging about how he passed his cognitive test? And it's
Yeah.
like, it was pretty goofy. Like the original was pretty goofy, and then Biden was asked about it like a couple days ago. And, it was pretty goofy as well.
I think for the journalist to kind of
Hi,
come
buddy.
out of the blue like that and ask a question like that does feel a little bit preposterous, especially I think what Biden is trying to do is pose the same question to that journalist and say like, oh, well, before you came into this newsroom, were you tested for whatever and whatever and whatever? Because what that journalist is asking is, were you tested for whatever and whatever, whatever before this interview? So while his response isn't like clean cut and articulate and he's like on the spot, it's not like, I mean, imagine being like 30 years old versus like 77.
He's 78.
78. I was just hanging
He'd be
out
the
with
oldest-
my 90-year-old grandma.
He'd be the oldest president ever elected.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, here's the thing: is we were talking about this earlier. It's almost sad because like if this were like a one-time gaffe, it'd be fine. But Trump just sat down for over a 30-minute interview where they were just firebombing him,
Yeah.
like and asking
Was
him
it the
like,
Axios interview?
yeah, like
On
and,
HBO.
people call him a dictator, but I don't
didn't
know.
watch the Axio interview. I just saw one clip.
Yeah, I don't know very many dictators that would allow somebody to
Every
come
clip
talk
is
shit
on
to him.
Reddit. You just have to
Yeah,
like put it together
I'm
like.
gonna be honest. I didn't watch it. I didn't watch all of it
Piecemeal.
either because even just the way the journalist was treating him was like I can't watch 30 minutes of that because it's gonna drive me crazy.
Journalists can be really, really hard on the people that they're interviewing sometimes. And I can feel for not only Biden, and I honestly can feel for Trump too. Like the way that journalists treat them, the way that they can be so aggressive at times. Honestly, it would put me on the defensive too. Like, I'm just trying to do what I'm trying to do. And like, you may not like me, and I understand we might be on opposing sides of the political spectrum. But in that sort of attack kind of way, like, it is difficult to respond to that.
It doesn't allow for discourse at all.
You know,
I
and
think
then
that's
like
part
it
of the
turns,
problem.
yeah, and you don't get this like meaningful conversation, this meaningful discussion that you're hoping to get, and all you get is just this. It's a reaction to what your point is, as opposed to garnering what you really want to get out of the person that you're trying to like interrogate, if you will. Like, I feel like Trump may have some shit to say that he never really gets to say because journalists, whether it's on the left side or on the right side, they're like, oh, you know, you're such an asshole and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, I am amazing. And then Biden, he gets caught off guard and like he doesn't know what to say. And he's like, oh, well, me and oh my God, and I don't know what to say kind of a thing because he's probably not good on the fly. But that's kind of my thought.
Yeah.
I can see how journalists are kind of assholes.
Well, and I think the reason they were asking is because they asked Trump a lot of kind of the similar questions. I think they're trying to act like they're being fair, and I don't think they necessarily thought. Here's the thing: is they ask these questions, but it's really not like it's not really that much of a gotcha that question. No, it's kind of funny. Like, hey, did you take the political test? They're kind of like making fun of Trump right there, and he just ran a different direction with it. So that's kind of how I see it. I don't think they're really like trying to get him a gotcha. Like, hey, did you see Trump talking about his like cognitive test? Ha ha ha.
It seems Biden thinks that everybody's trying to get him because, like, when he was meeting with Charlemagne the God, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to talk to you a little more and make sure you're good," and and he's just like, "Hey, if you don't know who you're voting for, then you ain't black," or whatever he says.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait a minute, Charlemagne the God wasn't even. I don't think he was even really arguing against it. He just wants to talk to you more and make sure.
And I feel kind of bad when I hear stuff like that too, because I'm like, man, poor
Biden is 77,
like,
by the way.
He's just like, he's
thought he was 78.
immediately on the defensive. And because like the whole Republican, their whole scheme is to portray Biden as this bumbling, incoherent, doesn't even know what he's doing kind of dude, and make him seem like he's incompetent because of his age. And
I don't think they're trying though.
Well, I mean, that's going
they
to be the main
might,
place.
I mean, they're good at portraying him that way. Like maybe
But-
that is
Oh,
the
you
case,
mean
but
he is that way.
we're
I
good
don't
at
know.
painting him that
I-
way.
They are going to attack.
If you
him.
watch they're gonna attack him that way. But if you watch like Joe Rogan, and if you watch like a bunch of other people that are left, and then you see his own even in his ad interviews, he can't even complete sentences. And then he was just on the news, and he couldn't even remember what state he was in or what city he was in. And it's like I feel bad that the Democrats even put this person up when they had Tulsi Gabbard or Andrew Yang or Bernie Sanders. Pete Buttigieg.
Boot edge.
I don't
yeah.
know how to say it either.
Boot edge.
But we'll see, man.
Buttigieg.
I called it a long time ago. What do you think, Monica?
About which?
About Joe Biden?
Are we talking about his mental state, or
Yeah.
are we talking about his fitness to?
Mental fitness.
But here's the thing: is like how? Okay, so another quick question, real quick. What about Amendment 25 to the and then to the Constitution or to the Bill of Rights, and then
Yeah, but if they had if he won,
you think the
theoretically, they would probably-
Republicans aren't going to pull that out like they tried against Trump?
No, I think no, but I think if he won, I think they'd win. I think they'd keep the House and possibly take the Senate.
Yeah.
What's Amendment
So
25?
there's no way.
Cognitive fitness to be president.
Yeah, they've been trying to talk about it against
Against
Trump,
Trump.
to
Wait.
use the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from office.
How long has the 25th Amendment been a thing?
It was put in after I'm trying to think of the right president.
60s?
Was it put in after
Before the last election?
The
is
last
my
fact checker.
question?
The 27th Amendment was in 1972.
25th
So
or 7th?
27th Amendment was in 1972. So 25th has got to be
Well, I
somewhere
was
before
thinking
that.
I was thinking it was
Late
sometime after
60s,
FDR.
mid 60s, maybe.
I was thinking it was right after FDR, but I'm not positive on that. Because they were just it's like a because he was
Here we
elected
go.
to 4 terms.
Ni-
He's like 45 or something like that.
yeah, I'm googling
I mean, as
it.
far as like cognitive fitness goes, honestly, I would probably question them both equally.
Right.
I mean,
Just to be fair.
For real, have we had a psychiatrist evaluate both? And have we
mean,
had at
you guys-
least 5 different psychiatrists evaluate both? Because, they say 4 out of 5.
I mean, you saw Trump walking down that ramp when he.
Thank you!
He's an old man.
Thank you! No!
I haven't
Yes!
seen that. I guess maybe I haven't.
Thank you for the
And then, like,
that
when he
ramp
was-
10
he did
yards
this.
long.
He's just doing that on purpose.
I
He was
couldn't
drinking his water
decide
and he
if
went.
he was trying to.
He always drinks water that way, though. He usually he drinks it with both hands. And
Nin-
there's some really funny memes about that too.
That's the funniest
Do you see the
fucking way
way-
to drink water.
That's what I said about the ramp. I'm like,
Well,
when he was like
okay.
doing the.
I'm guessing rich people water bottles are probably different.
down the
right? So then he
ramp.
gets, like, these
The
cheap
10-yard
bottles and
ramp.
he doesn't know how to hold
He's like,
them.
what do? I need to
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
The water doesn't just magically raise itself out of the glass and go down my throat. I'm gonna have to like lift the glass
Maybe
and
he's
like.
If we're going to
manually
talk
do
about,
this.
okay, from a public health perspective, if
One
we're
at
going
a
to talk
time,
about dibs, if we're going to talk from a public health perspective and we're going to talk about cognitive fitness, that's what we're talking about, the 25th Amendment.
25th Amendment, I'll read it real quick. It's succession and disability. It clarifies that the vice president becomes president as opposed to acting president if the president dies, resigns, or is removed from office, and establishes procedures for filling a vacancy of the office and the vice president for responding to presidential disabilities. The 25th Amendment was submitted to states in July 6, 1965 by the 89th Congress and was adopted in February 10th, 1967. So it took 2 years to adopt it. Now, there's articles and invocations underneath that amendment that kind of lay out layers to it, and they were trying to get Trump on that one.
Interesting. So the 25th Amendment is about the succession of
Yes.
the people in line and not so much about the actions before an individual becomes president.
So there's 15 cabinet members enumerated in the United States. So Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Attorney General, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so in the invocations, 1973, appointment of Gerald Ford as vice president, which we all know. In 1974, Gerald Ford succeeds Richard Nixon as president. And so there's some precedent, but there's the fact that they were trying to use that, the articles inside of it to get, that was talk. I mean, they obviously didn't do it, but that was talk about Trump.
only.
Yeah, I mean, each side does dumb shit.
That would be hard, I think. You know, trying to invoke the 25th Amendment between whether it be Trump or whether it be Biden, I feel like it would be a real challenge in order to really like define whether or not either of those men are cognitively like inefficient. That would be really, really difficult because, you know, when you're in the public eye and like you're doing this public speech, like you or me, anybody, like I'm fairly confident in front of people. I would definitely stumble if I felt like a bunch of journalists were like, I'm going to be an asshole. And I'm like, I don't know what to say. You know, like Biden, Trump, it doesn't matter who you are. Like you're going to stumble a little bit and you're probably going to say something kind of dumb.
And then how are you going to go ahead and describe disability? You said that when you were reading it, it said disability.
Yeah,
what are
like
you going to
forgetting where you
consider?
are,
Right.
not knowing what state you're in.
How are you going to consider?
What was I saying? Where
Who
am
is
I?
who is going
Who
to
are
create the
you?
standard for what
Oh, it gets
counts?
them out of time.
Who is going to
Where was he when he forgot what state he was in?
It was just recently.
He was at a place
Virginia?
that was near. I'm not sure exactly where it was, but it was near a place he used to work, right? And I guess it was like right, maybe it was right down the street. So he went there and he was like, "Oh, it's great to be back in this place, right?" And it was the place that he worked, and he's like, "Oh no, I'm just kidding because I know it's actually down the street and I used to be there." Do you have that one? You can pull that one up too. It's kind of
So here's this one's from February. In February, he forgets what office he's running for.
well, some of those. Are kind
Some of those are funny. I know. I'm just joking. I'm joking. This one was 7 days ago. I'll pull it up real quick. Let me.
What about like when Trump couldn't pronounce Yosemite and he was like Yosemite?
Okay, but pronouncing a
Who
word.
hasn't been to Who doesn't know how to say Yosemite?
I mean,
maybe
there's
he
not
just-
knowing how to pronounce things, of
It's
course,
like, did
and
you
then
say
there's
kind of cheese?
and
But I mean, phonetically, I mean, I'm guessing that, you know,
I mean, phonetically, it's Yosemite.
so maybe.
Well,
I
kind of
don't
that
know.
speaks to like a
It's
detachment
pretty-
for me.
Sure, it's pretty goofy. But I've listened to other people that I know they know something, but they read it and they totally screw it up. So maybe I didn't hear him say that. But that's
It's like
fine.
seeing Brandon and being Brandon
Well, I
or
mean,
Jesse.
And how much can we consider
Je,
it to be?
sweetie.
So you ready for this?
How much of it, real quick? How much of it can be considered to be nervousness in front of a crowd, or
He's been a politician for
I'm just saying,
44 years.
on that
a
note,
long
I'm not
time.
saying you're wrong.
Not an excuse.
I'm saying Journey a few years ago forgot they were in Detroit and said hello Houston. That's just
They were also old.
Joe Biden's also old.
Trump's old too. How old is he?
Trump
Old enough.
Trump is 61.
61.
I'm joking.
He is not 61.
Trump's 73. He's 73.
73.
Biden's actually 77. You're right. So I think he might be 78 by election. But anyhow, so here we go. Joe.
I've been here a number of times. Last time was, I think, all the way back in 2014. But I've been here before that. I love this place. Look, what's not to like about Vermont in terms of the beauty of it? And what a neat town. This is sort of a scenic, beautiful town. The mayor's been a good guy, and everybody's been really friendly. I like Keene a lot.
So that's the older one because there's one from this week.
He was not in
That was
Vermont.
7. Yeah, he was in
town
New
of
Hampshire.
Oh, poor guy. How embarrassing.
It was the town of Vermont.
The newer
He was
one
in the
is-
town of Vermont
Yeah.
in Massachusetts.
That's what he was. That's what he was talking about.
He was
The
in New
newer one
Hampshire.
is more embarrassing, but it's like I don't know. Maybe it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of could make a mix up like that.
You actually have that one too? Or
Yeah.
no?
Actually, that's the one
Oh.
down I used to work.
That's the
joke.
clip. But you have to,
You know
remind
where we
him
were
of that.
anyway. It's great to be here and back in a place where
He was before that, I think.
Yeah, I want to go back.
He ends a lot of his sentences with,
So
It's like
You,
he's been working from home for 7 months and he's completely
And,
over it, and he ends all of his emails with ... Anyway, ...
I hope this
send.
email finds you well. Jesus Christ.
do you think would you be mad if there was no debate between the two presidents or president elect versus the president?
Dude,
type
those
person?
debates are going to be funny.
No,
I mean, we
would
should-
you be mad if there was no debate at all?
Honestly, no.
Why not?
I don't really care to hear what either of them say because I feel like probably 70 to 80% of what they propose in the debates are probably not going to come to fruition as a result of the discourse between the Senate and the House, and then ultimately whatever administration is there and all the conflict that comes of that. So I feel like it's an unrealistic expectation to think that anything that comes out of those debates ever becomes reality. I think it's just all kind of theoretical. So if we missed all the theoretical fighting, then honestly, I don't care.
What are your thoughts on
May
that,
the
Jesse?
best man win.
No, I mean it's. Of course, I would love to see them on stage together.
It'd be funny to see.
It'll be funny to see, and then it'll also help or hurt Biden. Because maybe Biden keeps it all together. Mm-hmm. Looks like he still has his shit together, or maybe he crumbles and doesn't look like he has his shit together. I hope they definitely have at least one debate, but we'll see.
I do too. I mean, I
I
don't.
could see one for sure. I think right now they're slated for 3.
Yeah, and
The first one's September 29th.
Yeah, I think they're
Trump's trying
slated
to get
for
more. And he's
3.
trying to get some earlier because I think there's worries about mail-in voting, so people will vote earlier, and then that potentially already voted before you even see them on stage together.
It was a primary election day today in Missouri. I did not vote.
It was
There was one in
yesterday. I think.
Kansas yesterday.
It's primaries.
I missed it.
I also
I can't vote in
Chris-
primary
Chris,
now.
go back,
If you're not
boss.
I saw that.
registered, if you're not
So I
a
was like, okay,
registered
I would've voted
Republican or
against him anyway.
Democrat, if you're not a registered Republican, help me, Republican who let me out of the house.
Maybe we all are suffering from
Who let the
mental,
dog?
mental problems.
You know
No.
what? It's been a long Thursday. Wait, it's Wednesday. No, if you're not registered as one of the parties, you can't vote the primary. So if you're registered as an independent, or
we just moved to Missouri, so
that's true.
You probably, yeah. Were you in Kansas before? No, you were in Missouri before. Were you in
We-
Kansas? Yeah,
we've been
so
in Kansas until February.
you probably couldn't even vote in the primary
Now you'll
now.
have to vote.
Next-
When you do it, you'll probably have to vote in wherever you
You're-
were living before.
Yep.
Oh, I
Unless you
could
do
vote in
stuff down.
Kansas?
And if you got to
Unless you
mail,
get done
your
with
ballot
it.
might
Oh,
actually be
crap.
shipped to your old address
I
too.
think Kansas already had their primary.
That yesterday.
I missed.
Was Joe Biden your number one candidate?
I have not had a number one candidate. I have felt very disillusioned by the entire world. While I don't have very strong negative feelings about Biden, do I feel that he is necessarily the candidate I want? I'm not even say that I feel particularly aligned to a party at this point. You know, I really disagree with this two-party system, and I think that there's a big conflict between, like, you know, we've got one Republican Party and we've got a Democratic Party, and like we elect one person for each party. I'm like, okay, but like even for the Republicans or whether it be Democrats, like, is this person really the person that represents everyone? Like, I don't think it should be a party thing. It needs to be like something else. It needs to be like, what do the people truly want? And I just don't think that a two-party system really defines what the people really want. Because then, like, all of that relies on, what do you call it? The Electoral College. And they just recently, like, the Supreme Court passed something about the Electoral College and about how certain electors cannot, like, go rogue and vote for whoever they want, regardless of what the state says. And I think they did that in the last election, which honestly kind of blew me away that they were able to get away with that in the first place. Because then if you can do that, then what is the point of the Electoral College? But the Electoral College is only relevant if you have this two-party system. So then if we only have this two-party system, but what about all the people that don't align with either party? So, I mean, it's hard for me to say, like, who
So-
my first pick is.
This is from CNN Politics. The Supreme Court said Monday that states could punish members of the Electoral College who break the pledge or vote for the state's popular vote winner in presidential elections. The case comes as the election season is heating up, putting Electoral College once again at the front and center of increasingly polarized, volatile political atmosphere. So interesting. I mean, the Electoral College is there pretty much to prevent mob rule type thing.
Terror, like those, you know, people that want to rule by terror.
Yeah.
You know, like if you've watched anything about like the Sinaloa cartel and the way that they they're like, oh well, we'll pay you $200,000 this year if you just like be a rat for us between, you know, these bureaus and our cartel. And if you're like, no, you know, I'm a good person and I don't want to be a part of your mafia, and you decline the $200,000, they're going to come back and be like, here's $500,000. You should take this. But then if you turn down that $500,000, they come around, they just like, well, you don't want the $500,000. I'm going to put a fucking round in your skull. And then I'm going to put a round in all your children's skulls. So I can see the benefit of the Electoral College because it can.
That's why we want to start a
around
third party, because that's kind of exactly what we want to do.
The third party?
Yeah.
A three-party
Third
party?
podcast.
Yeah, third. Yeah, I mean, we're up for a third party.
I think
you know.
that there should be one. There has to be.
Someone
or
has
maybe-
to rule by fear, and
More
it's going to
than
be
the
Jesse
three-
and I.
And y'all,
I don't disagree by ruling with fear.
the third party, aka y'all, need to get more than what 3%, 2.7% of the vote.
It's 3% to get, I think, federally on the ballot access.
Because
Over
how many
3%.
people voted for Obama that didn't necessarily want Obama but wanted to vote on the Democratic ticket?
Right, and like that guy at dinner today who was having such a conversation, so loud.
I think about 48% of the people that voted for Obama wanted to vote for a third party candidate, but couldn't because they had to vote blue.
And what
Should
about
talk about
Trump? That's
Right,
the same
you
for the
have to
Trump
vote
voters.
red,
The
you
people,
have to vote blue, or you have to do what a lot of millennials
Trump
did
is a symptom.
and vote Johnson just to make a point. Which what point did it make?
he's a douche.
Well, that's why. No, I was joking about the 48%, but no, but but Jimmy Dore said it best. You know, Trump is a symptom of a problem that's going on right now. 60% of the people in America don't vote. Only 40% of Americans actually vote.
And of
Which
those 40%, how old are the people that vote of the
I
40%?
thought those are flipped around, but it doesn't matter. It's something like that.
It is still too low of a number, and that has me just shocked. Is it indifference? Isn't somebody else will do it? Is it the bystander effect? What is it?
I think a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that, like, there's people that choose not to vote. Where is the candidate that represents me? Who represents me? Who represents me and the people that believe the things that I believe?
Jesse Ventura.
They're
Andrew
big
Yang.
in the Jesse Ventura.
I
vote.
did like Andrew Yang, but I did not like Kanye West with his
Kanye
birthday
West?
party.
Whoa.
You know what? Is
Well,
he done
don't
or
be
not? I
talking shit on
haven't.
Kanye West.
I haven't
Can't
got
tell
a good
me nothing.
answer as to is he.
I
still
did like
doing
that
this?
song, but
It's
I
so
have
good.
not liked his music for at least a decade. I listened to it and I'm like, I don't hear the genius in this. But that's just me.
You know,
I
he's a
don't know.
lyrical. He's a lyrical.
Supposedly.
He's a genius.
He's the voice of a generation.
I struggle with that. I don't
You-
know what people see.
Hey, Nadia.
I try.
Him and Kim
I
got in
got
a
some
fight the
fish
other day.
sticks
We
upstairs.
talked about
I
that on
think
the
they're getting
podcast.
divorced, right?
No.
Are
No.
you sure?
He
They-
apologized to
They
her.
look
Oh my-
like they made up.
They made
and
up.
went to
They were at Wendy's.
So
I mean, I guess if there's any way to make up, let's get a spicy chicken with fries at
So
Wendy's and a
good.
frosty.
That's what I get. Yeah.
I mean, I got a tray of fish sticks upstairs.
Oh, and okay, so
You want-
during like
you
is
like
it
Monkey like fish
Easter
sticks?
or like
You like fish sticks?
layover time or something, they have this cod sandwich at Wendy's. So good.
She's gone.
Okay, we're not gonna promote Wendy's here, people.
Okay, Wendy's,
I'm not plugging
Wendy's,
them.
Not a sponsor yet.
But no, I'm curious. One thing I do want to see. I can't wait to see what South Park does on all of this.
Oh god, they're so
Oh
funny.
my god, I'm gonna come to your house when that comes on.
Let's do it.
She wants to watch it. She's a South Park fan.
I also like South Park.
Okay.
Are you
guys
who are you
can-
pointing at, me or her?
You,
You're the
Monica's
fan.
not. Yeah.
I can sit here and we can talk about how Family Guy's better all day, but
Boo.
I love it all. Any show that just kind of makes fun of the world, I'm gonna like it.
Well, and I just think that but no, seriously. But the whole thing for the third party podcast is, it seemed Trump was always getting coverage, but it seems like no one's willing to hey, Joe Biden. He's got some serious issues going on. Why would we vote for? We already have one president that people hate and has caused all this division in America. Why would we vote Joe Biden? You think he's going to cause any less division? You think Republicans are going to go after him for 4 years, 3 years?
no. But
Imagine
we'll go
if he
from
picks Rice as his VP. Like what they've been saying is that if Biden were to choose Rice as his VP pick, so many people in the Republican Party hate her, like vitriolically hate her. So she is like prime picking to
What do you-
really stir up the people on the Trump side to get them out to vote against Biden because they fucking hate Rice.
We don't got much time left, but let me ask you this. What do you think about who would be your pick for a woman president right now?
Me, duh. Not kidding. You think I'm joking? I'm not. I don't think
Who would
that.
be, okay, so if you're president, who would be your running mate?
Who would be my running mate?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting right
I mean-
here,
She
so
doesn't pick Monica. It's gonna be hilarious.
no, it's kind of weird because I'm sitting right here, guys.
I mean, it could. I mean, it would be a toss up between Monica and The Rock.
Ooh,
We were just talking about Dwayne
no,
Johnson.
it's okay. It's okay. The Rock can. Can I be his running mate?
What the hell is going on?
I
here?
don't know.
You know exactly what's going on.
Look at them next to each
They
other.
say that women don't like.
I
look at
don't
men
like that
and
you say. I don't like.
Oh yeah, they're not. I'm surely they weren't talking about his body and stuff.
Yeah, there's no way.
The reason
I'm
I
talking
would
about
choose
his
The Rock
sense
as
of-
my running mate
'Cause
is because
he's not hot at all.
He does have a really big charisma. So.
I don't find The Rock overly attractive, actually.
Yeah, no, she's not his
He
biggest
doesn't.
like.
He's not really like my type. What I really enjoy about The Rock is his personality, his speaking style,
His
and his
smile.
ability to.
Dazzling.
His eyes.
She's gonna
also
go-
dazzling.
connect with a number of different populations that he is trying to get attention from, because he is a little bit different. He's not really black, he's not really brown, he's not really white, and he's not really like over here or over there. Like
is
he
he
really
Samoan?
feels like he is a little bit Samoan.
He's half Samoan.
Okay.
And he's kind of like this guy that kind of like feels like, like I'm here not just to help the Republican Party win or the Democratic Party win. I'm here so that you can fucking win. And you can fucking win because you know what? I know how fucking hard life is.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna run as a Republican.
Oprah. He's like Oprah.
Perhaps.
He's like, you can win, you can
and that's
win.
what I really
Still take you up on your offer, though.
Yeah.
that's what I dislike about this two-party system, because I don't think there's anything wrong with being a Republican. The older I get, the more kind of like financially conservative I've become. But from a societal perspective, I am still very much the same as I was the entire time that I have been alive. I believe everybody they are entitled to simple equal rights. Like you don't deserve to be fucking murdered because you're one color, and you deserve a shot at college because you deserve a fucking shot at college. Like it should be dependent on your success. It should be dependent on your grades. It should be dependent on all of these things. So then I know like that's a whole thing around like affirmative action. I don't really know what my feelings are around affirmative action, but I do know that it's 2020 and things have to evolve. One of the
Women
things,
are too smart.
perhaps.
I'm gonna.
Not really.
No, but
I don't like that. I don't like that. The idea of we need a woman president. We need a president.
I don't think we need a woman president.
Thank
We just
you.
need a good
We need a
fucking
good
leader
president.
who can
Yes.
like lead the people
I think we
and
just
people
need a-
can
Thank
like
you.
rally with.
Just being a woman, being a man doesn't make you a better
right. It is not a
leader.
qualifier.
if we had
Thank you.
if we had a strong man behind a semi-okay woman, I think it would be a good situation.
Excuse me, a
Especially
semi-okay
now, though,
woman.
like we can't go from like male presidents for the last 45 presidents and suddenly be like, all right, we're good with a woman leading the fucking country, because like look at the world. Look at the fucking world and look at the United States of America. We are not in a position to be ready to accept a female fucking president. Maybe a VP, not a fucking president. It takes time to get there, just the way it is with racism against black people, the way it will be with racism against Mexican people, and the way racism is against Chinese people and Japanese people. Shit takes
What?
time and it has to evolve.
What time are we at?
We're at 32. We need to go.
All right.